Dr. Donald Morton.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton. Dr. Donald Morton is an award-winning social entrepreneur known for his innovative social solutions.
Based on this fatherhood and manhood issue in droves, in incredibly large numbers. And I felt it necessary for someone to have a voice like yourself to do the work of restoring men in our society. And I've been doing that work ever since.
His latest solution is expressed as the CEO of Remand.
So Remand, the nonprofit, is about helping brothers that are coming out of prison, brothers that are dealing with child support, brothers that are the most marginalized of our communities, helping them with their character and the institutions that impact them. And then the LLC, our for-profit arm, is really attempting to address the CEOs and CFOs and entrepreneurs and people like that say, look, I got issues too as a black man. My issues are a bit different because I'm in the C-suite. And how it plays out in the C-suite is very different than how it plays out on the block and those brothers that are coming out of re-entry. But here's the deal. All of us the same, for real, for real.
Dr. Morton is the former executive director of the Complexities of Color Coalition. As executive director of the coalition, he worked to congregate Wilmington, Delaware's African American community in order to create comprehensive strategy to influence institutions, policies, and laws. Dr. Morton has over 25 years of experience in African American community leadership. Remand is deeply personal. While he's glad that thousands of men are on this journey with him, it was started because he needed liberation. He was broken and bound, and he was fighting to put his life back together after divorce, infidelity, business challenges, bankruptcy, and a life destroyed by being the worst liar ever. Yes, Dr. Morton was a liar until he faced himself and proved his signature science, the character arc. Then and only then was he ready to lead men to learn and live the science of being remanded.
What's up, people? It's 1 o'clock. It's not 10 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. Do y'all want to know why? Do you want to know why? Today is at 1 o'clock and not 10 o'clock. For those of you that were looking for us at 10 o'clock in the morning, we were not on. And we want to apologize to you. Leroy overslept, but didn't oversleep for the entire day. Leroy only overslept.
This dude did know.
1 o'clock today. So I know what it is like to oversleep. I know what it's like when you get a little older, you take a nap, one of the power naps, and you
I gotta wake up to take a nap.
Leroy woke up to take a nap.
Oh, geez.
But he's here now. Good afternoon, bro. Usually we say good morning to one another. It's afternoon. Good afternoon, bro.
You ain't no good. no good. Lie to these good folks. We ain't never sure your mom and your grandma to say they're good folks like that. I told you we should have put a message up, man. I usually do that. If we're gonna miss, then I usually will put our banner up or flag up, letting people know, hey, look for us, at 1 o'clock. So
Yeah,
I will. I'll take the blame for that, for not
yeah,
putting the
yeah.
notice up. I'll take that for the team this
You
morning.
gonna take it for the
That is
team?
that is not the reason we are here on at 1 o'clock, y'all. That is not the reason. He he lied like a rug. I'm just telling you, he lied like a rug. He lied like a rug.
I just. Well, what is the real reason? Tell the people the real reason.
Nah, as Donald knows, we had a mutual friend. He
Yeah,
wasn't as close to him as I was, but his name is Pastor Steve Turner.
yeah,
A couple of weeks ago, maybe like a week and a half ago, had a stroke in his sleep, and he passed away. And so his funeral was this morning. His waking funeral was this morning, and his family was putting him to rest. So that's where I was this morning, as not being on the podcast, and I thought about. I said, hey man, this morning I sent Donald a message saying, hey man, we can do it at 1. Because I thought about that, and I was like, well, we can still do it at 1 because I'll be back by 12:30 or whatever, and then we could do the show at 1 o'clock. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so that's the real reason, y'all. I don't
That is the
oversleep.
real reason. That is the real reason. That is the real reason, and I am sending my condolences and prayers really to Pastor Steve Turner's family.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Roy
man.
said, I am connected to Pastor Steve Turner through Dr. McKenzie Jr. and just a real dope guy. Going too soon.
Yeah.
Miss me with any of the messages about God needed a rose or anything like that. That I can't really tolerate stuff like that. That man is going too soon, and he still had work to do. And the enemy cut his life short. The enemy cut his life short, and so I am praying for it. I am praying for his family. I'm praying for Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. I thought I would try to get him on and make him smile a little bit. I know that those moments can be sobering, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted to.
But let me tell you, dude, I came to this realization. This was some years ago, man, and my grandmother on my mom's side passed away. I think my uncle, it was like a couple different, people in the family had passed away. And so I got back from my grandmother's funeral because she lived up in Detroit.
Yeah,
So my mom and I went up for the funeral. And so we got back, and it happened to my dad had stopped by, and so we were having this conversation, and I remember telling him then, I said, Dad, I said, I've come to this realization. I said that, I understand that where we're all headed is two places.
yeah,
We're either headed to the front row,
yeah,
or we're headed to the casket.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's where we're all headed. And sometimes you got to sit in that front row,
yeah,
and sometimes some of us are going to be in that casket.
yeah,
And I told him, I said, even, and this was not too long before he passed. I was like, I'm a boohoo, I'm a cry, all
yeah,
those things. I said,
yeah,
because that's the grieving
yeah,
process of it and
absolutely,
everything like
bro.
that. I said, but the thing that has given me solace with so many people that have passed in my life is, man, that they have given their lives to Christ, and they love the Lord,
Yeah,
and that is where I know that they're going to be resting with their Lord and
yeah,
Savior. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
You
Steve
know,
Turner,
it's crazy, man. As difficult as it was for me to hear, right? Um, my mom had an unquenchable thirst to go be with
yep.
Jesus. And
Mm, mm,
people were really kind of challenged with her departure. My mom lived until she was 85
mm,
years old.
mm.
That's a pretty good life, right? 85 years
That's
old.
good. That's good life. Yeah.
Um, and I had to say it at my at the eulogy that I perform for Mom Helen Grace, right?
Did you eulogize your mother? Did you eulogize your mother, or just
No, my mom was eulogized by Bishop Paul Morton.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, wow. Okay,
Helen Grace,
okay.
I eulogized Mom Helen Grace when I came to
Oh,
Delaware.
right. Yeah, just the other. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
and so I was saying during the eulogy that my mom wanted to leave, and
yeah. You said that. You said that.
yeah, she wanted to go, and one of the hardest conversations I had to have before. And for those of you, a trigger warning, right? For those of you that we're in a holiday season, and sometimes it can be really difficult to hear the departure of a loved one. But yeah, I remember having to shout out to Bishop Rob Watson. Bishop Rob Watson, a friend of mine, said, "Hey, Donald, I need you to do me a favor when you go home and see your mom." I said, "What's up, man?" He said, "Tell her it's okay to go."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what? It ain't okay to go. You
I know,
know,
and that's the thing, man. It really is.
okay to go." And he
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
"Man, I know that's our stance, right? Our stance is that we want our parents here as long as we can have them here.
yep,
And your
yep,
mom,
yep.
Bishop, will hang on for as long as she feels like you are uncomfortable with her departure. I just want
Yeah,
you to know how selfish it is, though, to try to
yeah,
keep her
yeah,
in that body just
yep.
because, right?" And so, and he said, "Look, she wants to go." My mom made it really clear. I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't anything unclear about, my mom wanting to go. I remember, and there are many people that don't know this, and I'm sharing it because I think it's relevant. My mom's last trip to the hospital, man, I remember she came home and on her wall, she had pictures of generations of our family, man. Just
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
beautiful, right? And she looked at my grandma and my great grandma and bust out into tears and said, "See you soon." And
Mm,
it wasn't sadness, it wasn't anger. It was just like, "See you soon. I've been
yeah.
waiting for this moment where to check out," right? So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
And
so
that's so true. And what you're no, and what you're the passage you were talking, it is so true that we do become selfish and that we do want to hold on, for as long and as tight as we can, because it's just they've been our whole life. You know what I'm saying? They've been our whole life, and I truly agree and do believe she was waiting for you to give her the okay.
yeah, yeah,
She was waiting for you to give her the okay.
yeah, yeah, without question, man.
You
And
know? Yeah,
I miss her. I was in a little
yeah,
funk yesterday, and my
yeah,
daughter,
yeah.
this huge spread, man, of food,
Did she? Oh, okay.
huge spread of food, prime rib and macaroni and
Oh,
cheese
wow.
and
Oh,
greens.
y'all
Man,
hot cotton, huh? As they say, y'all hot cotton.
oh, high cotton, bro. And I was upstairs in the room, and she sent me a text, and she said,
Oh,
"Okay,
okay.
listen, you don't have me make all this food. I know, I know you in the funk. I'm in one,
Mm,
but I
but
need, I'm giving you 60 minutes to get
to get
up,
it together.
get it." That's exactly what she said. Get it together. She said, get your life, get your life. And I said, "Okay." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I'll be down. Give me 60 minutes. I'll shower." Because I hadn't done anything, bro.
Okay, okay, okay,
Came
okay.
downstairs and immediately went outside to let the sun shine on my face,
Hit your face. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I could get myself together before I came in. And so she literally cooked me out of, or fed me out of the funk that I was in, you know.
Nice.
And of course, my wife was, you know, babe, you all right? Babe, you good?
Yeah.
And you know, so it was one of those kinds of days, man. But I'm here now. And in case y'all didn't know, I'm that man. I'm that guy. I'm him. I run the Remain Project. Remain for I don't even call it the Remain Project anymore. It's just remained. It's a verb. It's a verb. It stands on.
It ain't just a verb. It's a noun and a verb.
It's a
it's
noun
remain and it's a verb because it's action.
It's action oriented.
Who are you? I'm Remain.
I'm Remain.
That noun. I'm Remain.
Yeah,
but I'm a verb too because I take action.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you.
I like that, man. I like that.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Of course, the co-host of the Grown Man Podcast is the impact builder himself, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. Put Jr. on his name, y'all. If you ever want to see,
that's right.
You ever want to hear Leroy cuss you out? He's cussed me out on a couple of occasions. Not using Junior. Y'all don't think he cussed. He only cussed twice in his life. One of these times was when I called him Dr. Leroy McKenzie. And he said,
Daddy.
Put Junior. Put Junior
on my daddy.
He said, that's my daddy. I'm Junior. So tell us where you guys are watching from. Leroy, we can talk for a couple of minutes, man, about what's happening in the NCAA finals.
Woo, brother.
Ready to watch.
It has been, the men's hasn't been, it's been okay. Now I'll tell you what, NC State.
Look at Lala's comment.
Did you get this time? well, no, Marlon. I don't know. They may get us later, but
you gonna hop on now.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah. What were you saying, man?
No, man, the men's hasn't been as exciting. Yesterday it was some good games. NC State winning, but anytime Duke lose, I'm all for it. Anytime Duke lose, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But I was telling my brother-in-law because we were at my sister's house, and my brother-in-law, we were in my youngest sister's boyfriend, his man cave. And it's funny because when we got there, when I got there, we were sitting out front, and he said, Leroy, he said, come here. He said, so he shows me his man cave, and he had a big old TV in there, right? He's like, I know you probably want to watch the game quiet. So I was sitting there, and then my older sister, her husband came, and so we sitting there, and we watching the game, man, and I was just like, yes, NC State, Duke is like old ACC battles, you know what I'm saying? And sure enough, big fella in the middle showed out yesterday, bro.
Yeah,
so that was good. The Purdue game I watched. I haven't watched much of the men's games. But it's been the ladies, the women's, and tonight. For y'all that don't know, I'm gonna say this real quick. For y'all that don't know, y'all better stay tuned in tonight for these two games, because it's gonna be some fire going on tonight. With LSU and they play the second game. They playing UConn.
Okay.
So it's gonna be good. But I think most people want to see the LSU Iowa because that was a championship game last year. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But quiet as is kept, to me, Angel Reese isn't really the superstar of their team. Last year she wasn't in the final. She was good and everything like that. But them ladies. And I think they either graduated or I think one of them transferred into the portal. They were the ones that showed up last year in the championship game. Yeah. And Flo J. Johnson is to me is that woman on that team, in addition to Angel Reese.
Got it.
But it's gonna be two good games tonight. Now, all that to say, South Carolina gonna win it all. So, I'll enjoy the game tonight.
You've kept close watch on the games. There was a game that South Carolina played, not the one that they won at the buzzer, but even after that, they only won by like 4 points. Was that game,
and they were up, but say that again.
Was that game as close as the 4 points, or did they just shut down after a while?
No, I think they kind of got lazy.
Okay.
Because they were up by 21 in that game.
Okay.
They were up by 21. And they came, I forgot who they were playing, but they came back. Because even Dawn Staley made mention of that. She was like, the young ladies, they were happy they won. She was like, yeah, but we were up by 21.
Yeah.
Because Dawn Staley don't play. Dawn Staley don't play.
Yeah.
She do not play. Like, no, we were up by 21 and they only lost by 4. What were y'all, what were we doing? What were we doing in between there that they came back? And almost, because I believe they almost won. I think they got it. I think they had tied it or something like that, and they wound up winning by 4. South Carolina wound up winning by 4. So, yeah, but it's been the women's tournament, and even honestly, man, even the talent.
Yeah,
the talent on the women's side is
it's a different level.
It's a different level, man.
When did you begin to see that shift in the talent level? Because it's a different level.
I think I would say in the last 5 years.
Okay,
there's just been a different level to them, and I've always thought that, and fellas might get mad at this, but I've always thought that women's basketball was more fundamentally sound than the men's, and that's because they play below the rim. And you got a couple sisters that's dunking now. I was like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
So but there's always been this more fundamentally sound. Women have always been more fundamentally sound than men have. Men, in college they usually depend on athleticism, and matchups and stuff like that. So the talent has gotten better, and it's better than the men's talent. There's not so much talent on the men's side. I couldn't name you a good 5 players, to be honest with you, on the men's side.
I agree with you.
And watching the tournament, I've learned a couple names.
Can you answer Lala's question for me, please, bro? I'm not even going to answer.
Marion Jones, Marla, Marion Jones has not played in about 15, 20 years. I think it's been about 15, 20 years. You're a little behind.
This is the way my wife engages in conversations, right? So she doesn't know when she doesn't know something. Like when she became a Cowboys fan, which was just really a couple years ago, she doesn't know football. She said, "Yeah, I mean, what about Emmitt Smith?" I'm like, "Yeah, babe, he hasn't played." Emmitt
He in the Hall of Fame. He in the Hall of Fame already. So it's been over 5 years.
and then Marcus and I said, "Hey, Leroy," Marcus and I said, we said something about Dak Prescott. And she said, "Don't nobody know him if he's not a player on the Cowboys. Don't nobody know Dak Prescott." So we like, babe, he's actually the quarterback.
He's the starting quarterback. He ain't just the quarterback. He's been the starting quarterback for a good 5 years.
Lala
sorry, Mama. I'm sorry.
Oh, she played for the Tulsa Shock.
Yeah. I think she was in the league, Marla, for a couple of years. I think she's retired. I think she's been retired now because she's got to be in her 40s. Yeah, she's got to be in her 40s. So yeah, I believe she's retired. She's retired now. Because I'm thinking,
star, bro?
Say it again.
Wasn't she also a track star?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she was a phenomenal track star. She was a phenomenal track star. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think she had her medal taken from her.
Yeah.
Because of the stuff that happened. I think the steroids or something like that happened with her. But yeah, she was. Oh yeah, and but because she ran track and she played for the North Carolina Tar Heels, in college. She
Yeah,
played basketball for them, I believe, if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken.
Look. She said that was just a fun
Yeah,
fact.
she said that.
So she's running. Yeah, she's running the show today. All right, y'all. Listen, to me. Leroy. What I want to talk about today, man, is actually for those of you that have not gotten and copped your copy of the Remand book, you really should, because I really want to create this thread of conversations. And also, if you are not inside the Remand book Facebook community, that is just for those individuals that have purchased the book, where we're going to begin to have these conversations a little more in depth there. So I was talking with a brother, Leroy, recently over these last couple of days. Actually, we're getting ready to do some real significant work together, and he has a book that is coming out, and I won't talk about it here because I'm actually going to have him on, and I want to make sure I give him space to be able to talk with you and I.
Absolutely.
At the level that he desires, right? But we were talking about the importance of healing as men before we enter relationships.
Absolutely.
Right. And while that is normal talk for you and I, right? Like, we know the value and importance of healing. There are a lot of brothers who don't see relationships that they've been in, challenges that they've experienced, traumatic moments, business opportunities lost, those kinds of things. They don't see those things as affecting them until and unless it's time for them to move forward in an area. One of the things that I told him was, because he was talking about relationships, and I said cleansing and healing and addressing and facing trauma is necessary for every man, no matter what he's embarking upon. If he's embarking upon a new relationship, he's got to deal with it. If he's embarking upon a new business idea, he's got to deal with it, right? Aside from the fact, and Lala, I'd like to hear from you about, because here's the other thing that I want to talk about, man. Like my wife and I have a rhythm now. We have a real solid rhythm. Earlier today, we were on the phone and we were I talked to her while she was on her way to work, right? And we were talking about something, and she mentioned something. I want y'all to see how we handle challenge, right? And acknowledge that we haven't always, we learned to dance. We really have, right?
I like that. I like that.
Talking about something, Leroy, and she made a statement that I said, I don't want to hear that. and we kind of moved from that statement. And she saw me get a little quiet. And she said, "Hey, babe, I love to dance." She said, "Hey, babe, I apologize. Tell me what that made you feel." Right? And I had to pause and I had to say, "Hey, you know what? I don't know. Like, I don't know where me being triggered." I said that hurt a little bit. It triggered me a little bit. And it don't have nothing to do with you. Like, I got to figure out why that statement made out of purity really bothered me.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Dwight says, "Afternoon Kings, late, but so glad I'm here." Glad you're here too, man. We late too. We late. Yeah. So what I noticed, man, and here's the beauty of Lala and I, right? Lala and I, we addressed it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
We actually talked it through in the 20 minutes that it takes her to get to work. We actually talked it through together. And I was able to come up with, okay, this is that. This is that. And that doesn't have anything to do.
Okay.
And she was just genuinely apologetic, like, babe, I didn't mean anything by that. So I say that because I think brothers have to really learn to be honest. Babe, if I said anything that was not true, let me know, because I think that's the way that it went, right? There have been times before somebody would say something to me, Leroy, it would go left real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It would go left really, really quickly. My wife and I have learned that dance of if it says something that I don't like, I'm going to quiet myself. And the reason why I quiet myself is as not to reemerge as this angry black man that I used to be. Right. So I've learned how to press pause. Those of you that are inside Remand, you know what that is. I've learned how to press pause, chill out for a minute, give space for myself to process what's happening. She has learned how to do the same, right? How to really address a moment. And if she gets quiet, I'll say, okay, babe, what you feeling? What's going on? Right. And we'll have that conversation to really intentionally face and dig up the stuff that's happening internally. And I got some keys that I want to give to people today, but let's talk a bit about the importance of black men really facing their pain, bro. Like the stuff that we're really feeling and dealing with, and not shying away from it, not trying to sweep it under the rug, not trying to act like it don't exist, because it's affecting different areas of our lives. Even if we don't admit it, it's affecting areas of our lives and is kind of impeding success in a number of different areas that we'll talk about in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, man, and we've said this before, that most of us, if not all of us, and I'm talking 99.99999% of us as men, have been taught since we were little boys that we are not to be emotional. We're not to cry. We're not to show emotion, because it's a sign of weakness. You're weak if you do that. If you show emotion, if you allow that to get to you. You'll hear even men today, well, I compartmentalize, and we'll say something like, well, we as men can sleep with a woman and not have an affect us, not impact us. Which is all a bunch of lies. Here's the thing, fellas, when you don't deal with the hurt. And I remember one of my friends from church, he's one of the ministers, Minister Antoine. We have a men's ministry, and we would meet on Saturdays. And one of the times we were meeting, and he had these bottles of I think water, soda, something like that, and we were standing in a circle. And he was like, each of us had a bottle. He was like, shake the bottle up. He was like, shake the bottle up. And he said, what happens if you shake that bottle up and you don't allow the pressure that's held inside that bottle to be released? And he said, fellas, that's you. When you don't allow the hurt to be released. The body, and I say this all the time, bro, the body is going to get rid of it one way or the other.
Oh, yeah.
The body will tell you we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way.
Yeah.
The easy way is that you release it. You talk about it like you talked about you and Marla doing to express yourself and figure. Let me pause.
Yeah.
Think about it. Figure it out, and then be able to address it.
Yeah.
The hard way is to let it sit, let it fester, and then what it does is it eats you from the inside out.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
because it will impact and affect your body, and it will
Absolutely.
impact the outside as well.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
don't deal with the hurt,
Yeah.
deal with it.
I don't want to
Mm.
rush past that part. That's such an important part that I even realize my wife will tell you that I caught a cold when I came to Delaware.
Mm.
And what I noticed was my body responding to the stress I was under,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yep.
The word I want everyone to do me a favor and just kind of remember. Let's see, my wife said we both had two left feet early in the marriage. No, you had two left. I ain't have no two left feet. I had a right foot and you had two left feet. I feel like that girl can dance too. She can dance. The word disease is a compound word. It's dis-ease. It's
Mm-hmm.
dis-ease. Your body responds to the emotional trauma, even though you don't think it is. Your body has places in it. That's what acupuncture is, right? The ability to put pressure, these different areas
Pressure
that,
point.
you know, Asian medicine or that kind of medicine understands that your body is holistic medicine understands that your body is responding to emotional trauma,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
things that you are not addressing. And I think oftentimes, brothers think that working hard means that you got to work with your hands. The hard work is really emotional work that you have to do.
Yep.
Because it's gonna push back. Oh, Leroy, you said it, man. When you put that,
you shake that bottle up.
You don't think that you're gonna explode, but you will. You will. And it's better just to kind of sit and investigate your feelings. I know we don't like the term feelings, y'all hyper mad. You don't like the word feelings and all that. I got feelings. I got
Right.
real feelings. I'm a grown man for real. I'm a grown man for real. I got feelings. My wife posted about me the other day, and it brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Feelings, man.
Wow. That was
Right?
good stuff too. That was
Yeah,
good
man.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that girl made me tear up. I got feelings. I got real fears.
But see, bro, I don't mean to interrupt you, but real quick, see, we've got to we as men, we've got to understand this body that we're in. God created us as humans to have feelings. So when we say, like you were saying, man, that I have feelings, yes, every man has feelings.
Yes.
But we've been manipulated, we've been pushed and told. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna use it later too. I was listening to an interview with Willie Moore Jr. and Darlene McCoy, right? And she was
Okay.
having she was talking about her and the situation she had gone through. I guess she gotten divorced and now she's remarried and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But she was talking about how she's not like the people, the regular people of the church. And she said something that was so profound to me. She said, "I don't want tradition. I want what's right."
Yeah.
It's right for us to have feelings.
Yeah.
And any dude that will tell you that it's not right for you as a man to have feelings, or even a female that will tell you it's not right to have feelings, run from them.
Yeah.
Because they're doing you don't want to hear that kind of talk,
Right.
bro. I'm sorry.
Right. No, it's okay, man. I agree with you 100%. Anger is a feeling. So anyone that says men don't have feelings, well, anger is a feeling. Sadness is a feeling.
Absolutely.
And we use a tool inside of Remand where we help brothers go deeper. Because usually when we say we're angry, we're sad, we're happy, that's laziness.
Right.
That's the lazy way, right? Like so we push men to say no, that's a lazy description of how do you. Let's dig a bit deeper. And I know you don't want to because you feel like you don't want to express yourself in front of me, all that. Man, you are a straight up coward if you can't express yourself. So there's no courage in not expressing yourself. The courage
Come on, bro.
is yourself. That's
Come
what grown
on.
men do.
That's what grown men do.
Yeah, that's what grown men do. We express ourselves and we do so in a healthy way. So when I said to my wife, "Hey, babe, that hurt," and she said, "Oh, babe, let's talk about it." Like I didn't mean to hurt you.
Mhm.
So I said, "Okay, let me look at it." I said, maybe when we get off and get off the phone, I'll be able to research it a little bit more. And it wasn't anything. She didn't say anything off, because
Okay.
y'all know Lala can be off. Lala. Y'all think y'all think I'm the funny one? Oh no, sir.
She Marla straight no chaser, bro.
Marla go for the jugular, bro. So it wasn't her saying anything right left. It was just a statement that she made that hit me, and I was like, okay, yeah, that hurt, and I don't know why. For those of you that are saying, man, I ain't going through all that. Yeah, that's why divorce rate is so high. Because you don't want to go through all that.
Yep. That's why the crime rate is so high.
It's so high because you don't want to go through. Yes, man. You don't want to go through all that. Right? So, I really want us to really address, man. I've got a couple of things that I want us to really address. The things that really, when we purify our hearts, right? When we dig up all of the stuff, all the gunk, all the junk, all the nasty stuff that's on the inside of our spirits, man. I've learned to ask brothers the question, how's your spirit? How's your spirit, bro? Right? And when he says, I'm good, what's that mean? Like, ask follow-up questions. Stop asking questions and allowing a man to get away with telling you something lazy. He's trained to tell you something lazy because he don't believe you care anyway. And most of y'all, when a man says he's good, you're gonna be like, okay, cool. He ain't good. He ain't good.
And
go ahead,
man. And that's the thing, bro. That is us as men's go-to. Even when we talk brother to brother.
Yup.
What's up? I'm good.
Yup.
And we've got to be attentive enough to say what's going on, bro. Something seems a little off.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Tell me what's let's have a conversation. And I think if we as brothers would have more conversations with each other, and even with our significant others.
Yeah.
Take the time to talk to them about if something is really going on. Because I know, and I'm talking. It could be medically, it could be just anything.
Yeah.
That we dealing with. We have to learn how to talk to someone. You have to be able to talk to someone to release that pressure, because every time that you don't deal with that you don't allow yourself to heal and deal with getting healed, all you're doing is shaking that bottle. I want every man to hear me every day. That or every time that you go through something and you don't deal with it, all you're doing is shaking that bottle.
Yeah, for sure.
Again and again and again.
For sure. Absolutely, man. But those of you that are watching, you just tuned in, do me a favor. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from. I know wifey better be watching from Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah,
What if she
yeah,
came on here
yeah.
and said, "I'm watching from Oklahoma"?
I know, right?
Yeah, Dwight. My situation, even with our moms, right? The ability to really face that pain. You know, I still miss her. I am much better than I was.
Absolutely.
Miss her, right?
And,
Johnny Bazemore, what's up, man? What's good? Wilmington, Delaware. Good to see you, my guy. Thank you for hanging out, man.
and and we've got to stop being so stubborn and thinking that, oh, it'll go away, it'll subside, and it'll get dealt, I'll deal with it. No,
Yeah,
make sure that you have someone that you can talk to. Hey, bro, I just need to holler at you for a minute.
yeah, yeah.
I got something I need to. And I always think about the song that Kirk Franklin and T.D. Jakes did. Then it's called, I think it's 911,
I
and he
remember.
calls.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
remember.
love this song.
Yeah,
But he calls his office. He's like, can I talk to Bishop? And he puts him on the phone, and he's like, hey, I got something I need to talk to you about. And he was like, yeah. He's like, what's up? What's going on? And we have to be able to be like that. Now, I didn't like the particular thing that in the conversation, Bishop Jakes was in that thing. He was kind of, yeah, okay, are you good? You good? All right,
yeah,
let's go.
yeah.
But I got the gist of the song was, we as brothers have to be willing to talk
Yeah,
to somebody.
yeah,
And then those of us who they are leaning on, we got to be willing to listen
yeah,
and
yeah,
and understand, hey, is this a time for me to be able to listen and give you advice or kind of walk you through it?
yeah,
Or is this the time to sit back and just listen to you
yeah,
and just hear what you're saying? You just need to bounce it off of somebody. You just need to get it out, so to speak. You just got to get it out of you. Release that pressure
yeah,
and let it out.
yeah.
We as the one who's listening have to be able to understand which situation that we're in.
And
That's what
if you let a
that's what
man
friends
talk,
do.
if you let a man talk long enough, he'll come up with his answer.
Hmm.
He'll come up with his
Hmm.
answer. The Spirit of God will speak to him. His spirit will speak to him. He'll come up with an answer. But brothers, you need, don't ever forget this. You need a coach, you need character, you need a community. You got to have those three things. You got to have a coach, somebody that's going to guide you. And everybody's not equipped to guide you. Right? Everybody's not
Yep.
equipped.
Say that again, bro.
And
Say that again.
you can tell your issues to everyone if you so desire, but I'm the guy that's going to help you resolve it. Like I don't believe in whining forever. I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm gonna let you whine for the first couple minutes, but then it's time to get down to business to do that
Yes,
which
sir.
is necessary to get you to the next stage, right? So if you're just joining us, we're talking about the alignment of heart and hustle, the fact that your heart has to be purified. And once you purify it, you got to guard it. You can't let that stuff, what Leroy called fester. You can't let it sit there and act like it's not there. Because after a while, it will dress itself and it'll become a permanent house guest.
Yep.
That trauma will dress itself and it will become a permanent house guest. And you come out your room in the morning and it's sitting on your couch like, good morning. Like, yeah. Deal with
Right.
the trauma,
It,
right?
and
Go ahead, man.
and it'll show up in different It'll show up in different ways, fellas.
It's showing
It'll
up.
show up it'll show up in your health. It'll show up in your weight. It'll
Absolutely.
show up in you. It'll show up in different ways.
It's
And
going to
and
show
if
up
you
in
don't,
your
it's
health.
right.
It's going to show up in when you can't perform sexually. right? Like that's a real for real example. It's going to show up in impotence, the stress that you're under, your
Yep.
inability to deal with it all. It's going to show up in your sex life. And so now your wife is being starved from making love to you, and you got a whole bunch of reasons why you telling her. The real issue is you can't get hard, and you can't get hard because you under stress. I mean, can we just call it what it is? Like some of it, my guy, is your inability or deal with the challenges that you're experiencing emotionally in your inner man. Did he just say hard on the Grown Man Pocket? Yes.
That's what we do here on the Grown Man Pocket.
Yeah. I said hard on the grown, like it's messing with your money, right? So let's look at a couple of things that when you find this place of alignment between heart and hustle, let me tell you, number one, it sharpens your decision making. So what you don't know is when you're not clear, right? When you're not cleansed, cleansing brings about clarity. So when you are not clear because you are not cleansed, it messes with your decision making. When you are clear and because you are cleansed, it sharpens your decision making. For every single man on here, listen to me, there is at the very front of this area is something called the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex of your brain is the executive decision-making part of your brain. And when you are not cleansed, you are perceiving things through a cloudy lens and your decision-making is off. I was watching a Tubi movie last night. I done fell in love with Tubi. Those are the most ghetto movies. Hey, Leroy, those movies, the most ghetto movies. Sometimes
that's what I heard. I heard the Tubi is just like
my wife and I lay in bed and we watch Tubi movies. And Leroy, look, you'll see a boom microphone coming down that's not supposed to be in the shot. We was watching a movie one night. Hey, Lala, what was the movie we were watching? We were watching a movie one night, bro, and it jumped cut to an entirely different scene in an entirely different movie.
they just spliced and taped it together.
So I was watching this, and this is for ladies that are watching too. If your dude, if you don't trust his decision making, just don't throw him away like he's not a good decision maker. Really, there's something going on internally that is causing him not to make good decisions. It's an internal issue, right? Lala says she can't remember. But boy, we was in tears because Lala's a theater, she's an actress and all, and so she had the mistake of telling me, how it all works. And I said, "Hey, babe, did you see that?" I just roll over. Like, did you see that? Like how can I take them seriously? That was a scene from a whole different movie.
They walking down the street and they go from nighttime to daytime.
Nighttime to daytime. They change colors and everything. It's
right.
But I was watching a movie last night, and in that movie, the guy you could see him, he was in so much pain, bro. She said, "But you keep watching." Yeah, I keep watching. The movies only have a $5,000 budget. They don't put all this together on a paper clip, and yeah. So the guy, everybody that came in contact with him, man, he was just so angry, and his family was giving up on him because he would cuss everybody out, just angry. And really, what was going on in him is he didn't feel like a provider. He didn't feel like a provider, right? He felt like, So it's decided that I'm gonna buy my house, I'm gonna buy my family a new house, and they're gonna recognize that I'm a provider. He was missing the cues. His daughter
Mhm.
said, Dad, I just want you to come to my game. His wife
Yeah.
saying, do you think that buying a new house is going to be what satisfy our marriage? Ain't in trouble because of our house. Our marriage is in trouble because of AB, but he couldn't see it. Right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when we are in turmoil, when our inner environment, when our inner atmosphere is in turmoil, it affects our prefrontal cortex and the chemicals that are being released, and it genuinely clouds our judgment with regard to the decisions that we are making. So it's not just a matter of him making poor decisions. There's a lot of turmoil in Black men that are clouding the decisions that they're making. Leroy, talk about that a bit, man. We got about 10 more minutes. We'll spend about 10 more minutes and then we'll be out.
No, man, it's just we've got to understand, when our judgment, and this is what we say when we're talking about from the inside out when you don't deal with the hurt. Yeah, the frontal lobe is gonna be, it's gonna impair your vision. It's gonna impair your judgment. It's gonna impair everything that how you see and look at everything.
Yep.
You have this, like the in the movie that you just gave, and the gentleman felt like he wasn't a provider. That's going to affect in how he feels. He feels insecure. He's going to feel as
Right.
if he's not good enough. I'm not where I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm thinking I'm doing the best that I can, and you may or may
Yeah.
not, depending on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
you know but I don't want my family to think that, think this of me.
Yeah.
And because if my family thinks this of me, then they're not gonna, they're gonna reject me for whatever reason.
It's right, bro. That is right. That's how
So
most men think. Yeah.
dang, yeah. And now so our thought process gets clouded. The way we see things get clouded. And instead of saying, okay, hitting that, like you said, man, and I think it's so important, hit the pause button. Hit the pause and say, okay, what's really going on with me?
Yeah.
And as you always say, it ain't an exterior issue
It's an
at
interior.
all.
Yeah.
It's an interior issue. It's a character issue. What are those things that I need to address internally
Yeah.
that are impacting everything for me externally?
And I know that men don't really want to hear this, but this is the truth, bro. Whatever you're experiencing externally is a result. It's a mirrored reflection of what you're experiencing internally. If you want to change what's happening externally, you got to change what's happening internally. The
Yeah.
dance that my wife and I have developed is because we have addressed the internal reality. We do it all the
Mhm.
time. We did it this morning. We
Mhm.
do it all the time. Right. So I'm not trying to tell you that we've always been here. We developed this dance. We are becoming one. Right. But the one thing that my wife and I promised is that we would never stop growing.
Mhm.
I'm never going
Mhm.
to stop growing as her husband. She's never going to stop growing as my wife. Um, Lala says, I love that you don't blame other people, babe. Yeah, yeah, because it's me. All of it's me. Whatever's going on around me is me. It's not them. I'm the only one that can control Donald, right? And if I
Yep.
want something different out of life, I got to become someone different. I got to let
Mhm.
the more pure and genuine version of Donald, the more authentic version of Donald emerge. So that's number one. Here's number two, y'all. Number two is it enhances your leadership. There's nothing like following a man who is clear thinking. But when you're wounded and you're in pain, You take that out on everybody. And can I tell y'all something that I've learned? You usually feel comfortable taking it out on the people that are closest to you because you take for granted that they're always going to be around. So what men do is men get in pain and they take it out on their wives. They talk to their wives crazy. They abuse their wives. They physically hit their wives. And they expect that, well, she's going to be around. She's going to be around. I can punish her. I can abuse her. But she's going to be around because we in this covenant together. No, my God, because she is always going to be around, why don't you do something about that? Do something about that pain that you're in. Right. And I'm not talking about going on somebody's couch and crying. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about facing this head on, addressing it like, I got some real stuff going on in me. Like, why am I angry why am I so angry? Like, what's good?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Cause a friend of mine, her boyfriend, significant other, very sick and had to have a heart transplant. I'm talking serious stuff. This is serious stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so he was lashing out at her. And I told her, I said, look, it's not you. I said, that's him. That's not being able to understand it and how to deal with what he's having to deal with.
That's right.
He has to learn how to deal with that, and his only recourse is to lash out at the closest thing.
Right. That's right.
That he can do. I did it with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
We were living together, and I mean, I was upset because I didn't have the job I wanted, this, that, and the other, and I was lashing out at her.
Yeah.
And it was until it hit me smack dab in the face.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And we have to learn how to press the pause button and figure out what's happening inside of us.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna keep telling y'all when you don't deal with it, every single time that something comes and you don't deal with it, you keep shaking that bottle.
And it's coming out. It has to.
And it's gonna come out. Yep. That's the way that the body works. That is absolutely how the body works.
Yeah.
And because I always say that and I always compare, it's like, can you imagine having to go to the bathroom and not going?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, constipation.
There's gonna be some messed up stuff inside of you.
What's the other word, Leroy? What's the other?
But fellas, that is exactly what you're doing to yourself when you don't get to the healing. Yeah. All you're doing is backing yourself up.
And look at what Lala
eating
said.
Your way inside.
Lala said part of the reason we dance well is because only one of us can lead at a time. And she says, I was trying to lead too.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know where we have developed this thing where men aren't supposed to lead. I mean, I don't have any problem with women lead. Like there are areas in my marriage that Lala is just much better at than I am.
Absolutely.
Right. And as leader of my home, and I say that proudly, I lead my home.
Correct.
My wife is not some pushover. She talk crazy and greasy in a real soft Southern way. She'll call me a nigga in a real soft Southern way. Right. So she's not a pushover, but a part of what I had to realize, Leroy, about my own sense of self is that I require a soft woman. I do not do well with a woman who is hard. I don't do well with that. It's just who I am. Like there are brothers who do really well with that. I'm just not one of them. So my wife is really, really soft. She's very, very nurturing. Um, unless she's upset with me. If she's upset with me, then she gonna talk hard, right? But I know that about her. Go ahead, man. Look like you want to say something.
Well, here's the thing with me, and I get what you're saying, and a lot of guys say that I need a soft woman. But you tell me, I mean, and I feel like this. Yes, to us, I think there has to be a balance. And that goes for us as men too. There has to be a balance for you understanding when that softness needs to occur, and when that person that's going to step forward. Because if something go down, you don't need I don't need somebody that's going to cower down and be like, oh, okay, he gonna handle it. It's
No,
gonna
I
be
think
okay.
there's a difference between being soft and being passive. I'm not asking my wife to be passive. I'm
Mhm,
asking her to
mhm,
be soft. Soft means um, that there's a degree of empathy and kindness and
mhm.
right. And by nature, let's see. Soft doesn't mean weak, right, babe? Soft doesn't mean weak at all because Lala is in no way weak. But my mom was soft enough that if I was just having a moment, I couldn't, I'm already fighting the world. I'm already out here in a battle. When I come home, I don't want to battle my wife. I need a
Correct. Absolutely.
place of genuine. And another word for me is femininity. Like my wife is very, very feminine. Um, and it's what I need. There are brothers who do well with a more direct approach or more a little harder approach. I just don't do well with it. So for me, what I've noticed is my wife like my wife used to I used to really offend her. Like I'm a straight shooter. You know who I am, Leroy, right? So I'm a straight shooter. And she had to really like she would just really get upset. And the Lord said, yeah, you gonna have to change that, bruh. Like you asked for someone, you asked me for someone that is soft and you can't abuse that. You gonna have to chill and how you talk with her. So one day she said, I am not one of the men of remain. I am not. I am not one of the men of remand. I said, okay, babe, I get it. But then the other day, Leroy, I coached her through something. And she said, thank you, coach. I was like, oh, so now I'm a coach. Yeah, soft means understanding, a listener, loving. Like I have to have that for me
But see,
personally. And again,
but that's what
again,
I'm saying.
again, hear me. Again, that ain't every man. Every man don't need that. Every man doesn't
No,
define
no,
it that way, but I define it exactly how Darrell Dixon just defined it.
no, and I like that. But
Yeah,
my thing is there has to be that in us as men as well. We
I'm not.
have to be the.
I'm talking about the default setting. Hear me,
Mhm.
guys. I'm talking about the default setting. I'm not talking about because every man. We talk about love and respect often here. Every man, by and large, the data proves it. Every man, by and large, needs respect over love. Every woman, by and large, the data proves it. The research has been done that every woman needs love over respect. Doesn't mean that a man doesn't need love because we do. Doesn't mean that a woman doesn't need respect because she does. But what the all of the research has pointed to that one thing, and that is that the Bible bears out, and that is uh wives, deal with your husbands based on respect and honor because he knows that the natural tendency for a man to receive is words where you respect him. The nat Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, gave himself for, because that's the way women perceive how they receive. So for me, what I think what I think we have to be able to do is to say, not that men don't need love, because we do, and not that there isn't a soft side to men, because there is. Absolutely 100% accurate. But I could not marry someone whose default side is harder than mine. We're going to have problems, because my wife has to be able to trust my leadership, to trust direction, to trust vision. There has to be that. And we can't ask men to lead and then not expect them to lead. We can't ask them to be leaders and then, like Lala said, which is a really, really good point. She said, look, a part of the challenge was I'm trying to lead, you trying to lead. There has to be some sense of order in the family. So I'm not saying it all. Hey, Trey, good to see you. Love you more. There has to be, I'm not saying that men don't need a soft side, because my wife told me that. She's like, yeah, you can't talk to me like that. You can't, so for example, I would stand when I get passionate, I would stand. She said, hey, babe, that don't work well for me. That just feels intimidating. Right. So I've learned now, Leroy, to your point, the soft side of me is now sits on the bed and holds her hand, or I'll sit on the floor and I'll sit under her and look up at her so that she feels a position of power. Right. Because I know that it's a trigger for her for someone to stand over top of her. So Jesus is both. This is the way I describe what you describe, because I don't disagree at all. Jesus is both lion and lamb. And he had to know which one to express at any given time.
And see, that's
go ahead.
No, but that's the beauty of us being made in his image. He's showing us that we as men and women, as I was saying, it's that balance. The balance that we have to have as men and as women. That's why, I mean, when I hear you all say that it's a feminine thing to be this and that, it's a balance. We both have masculine and feminine. I get it, what you're saying as far as the default and everything like that. I get that, but there's this, we have to have in our mind the understanding, just as Jesus did. He understood when he needed to be the lion. He understood when he needed to be the lamb. That's how we have to approach. He gave us that's the black print. That's the black print.
Yeah. And this is what Lala said, because Lala says something important. She said, and if your default setting or side was softer, she's like, bruh, like she couldn't handle that. Right. So I think, oh my God, we passed time. Let me give these last two to y'all. This is something that we don't think about, that when you are clear-headed, when it boosts innovation, innovation, like you become far more creative when you're clear-headed.
Absolutely.
You are an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're a husband, you're trying to figure out ways to connect with your kids, connect with your wife, connect with your staff, right? You're trying to even listen and be open to hear for ideas from your spouse, from your kids, from your staff. You got to be clear-headed. If you are so damaged, bruh, that you can't hear from anybody and there's nothing new under the sun, so somebody needs to kind of spark creativity and innovation for you. Yeah, if you so against that, it's because you hurting somewhere, man. You're afraid.
Yes. Come on.
You're afraid. So, and then the last one is, let's see what Derek says. Derek says, I love the fact that you, Donald Morton, are showing that learning your partner and growth is so important. It is, man. Like my wife and I, Derek, now, man, my wife and I, I'll say something. She said, you don't know me. I said, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I've got one assignment. And my one assignment is to dwell with her according to knowledge. Now, there are a couple of things with that, right? Dwelling with her according to knowledge means that I got to be really clear about how God created all this to work. But then also I've got to drill down, and I've got to be man enough to be able to investigate how my wife works, because she is a wife, overarching, right? Macro, she's a wife, but she's my wife. Micro. So I've had to learn her. I learned there are certain things that she doesn't like. Like I just gave y'all some examples. I know, I know, Leroy, can we just, can I, I'm gonna give y'all, listen, I know how to turn it around in the midnight hour.
I know we the grown man podcast, but Facebook gonna say you only but so grown.
Right? I know how to turn it around in a minute. I know my wife. I know what language she responds to.
Yes.
I know she doesn't respond to yelling. She doesn't respond to it. She will shut down. And because I used to be a yeller, right? I had to really develop an emotional intelligence just to remain married to my wife.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to grow up and to mature. She does the same thing. She knows what I respond to, and she knows I don't respond to disrespect well. I just don't respond to it well. Right. So
she can't say who she can't say who's your daddy.
Yes, you can. She's crazy enough to try some stuff, right? She's crazy enough to try during that very moment. Who your daddy? That's the craziness of my wife. She would try some stuff, and babe, don't let Leroy get you in trouble.
I dare you, Marla. I dare you.
Babe, don't you let Leroy get you in trouble. Because I can see her saying right now, you know what? I'm gonna try that. And then here's the last thing, y'all. And then Leroy's gonna have closing comments. I'm gonna tell you how to get the Reman book, and then we'll be out of here. Listen, y'all, when you develop clarity, when you cleanse your heart, you can strengthen family bonds.
Woo.
Leroy, I got a good illustration for this, man. Right? So look. See you, look. Look. She said, I'm putting it in my pocket. If you take some, you remember the clear tape that you would wrap packages with, the tape, right? If you take that tape and it gets dirty,
yep,
it won't stick.
Yep.
So what strengthens a family bond is when you remove the residue of the stuff that is keeping your family from sticking. You got dirt in there, bro. You got Dwight said don't do it, and Marla said too late, Dwight. So the reason why my wife and I can laugh like this, and I've been married a couple times. So let's be clear. I've been married a couple times. And this marriage is different because I'm different. Yeah, this is different because I'm different. I had to grow up. The one person involved with all my marriages was Donald.
Yep.
So I had to research Donald, like, what the heck, bro? And so my wife and I, fortunately, my wife she loves to grow. So she's always going to read. She's always going to research. That's just
Wow,
the
that's
thing.
good. That's good.
She's a social worker by trade, right? She went to school for psychology. It's just, she's got a degree in psychology. It's just, sometimes I mean, like, yo, I think you try and use some of that schooling. Don't don't try to psychoanalyze me, sis.
For sure.
Right? So it really is, what connects Lala and I is I had to remove the dirt. Because if I didn't address the dirt, if I didn't address all the grime, if I didn't address all the filth, it wasn't that the tape was bad. There was a barrier between the tape and the place that it was designed to stick to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's a barrier for many of you brothers between the tape and your wife, between the tape and your staff, between the tape and your finances, between the tape. Like there's a barrier. And all I'm asking you to do is to clean the barrier stuff, to get rid of that, so you can address it. Leroy, I'm giving you last comments, man.
Nah, man, just brothers, if y'all don't get anything from the day, is deal with the healing. Deal with it. Allow yourself to pause and say what's going on with me, and gain the clarity that Donald is talking about. Clear that frontal lobe off. You
Right.
know, get the Windex, clean it off, allow it to clear. Do whatever you do, find whatever you need to do. And because I tell you, bro, when I started back walking
Yes, sir.
in the morning,
Yes, sir.
doing my walks, my mind became so clear in being able to get things, my thoughts and all that, just in that 1 hour in walking.
Yes, sir.
Allowed me to gain so much clarity.
Yes, sir.
So you do, if it's listening to music, because I do that sometimes,
Yeah,
whatever it is that you need to do in order to be able to gain the clarity, that's what you do. Find the comfort in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you can see clearly what it is that you need to address, and you can understand, what's going on. What's really going on with me?
Yeah.
What was it, like you were saying? What was it about that statement that really hit me the wrong way?
Yeah.
I need a minute to think about this.
Yeah.
I need a second to be able to think about this, and then come back. And once you address it, you know where it's coming from. Then you know what action needs to be taken.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because, I mean, just absolutely, bro. I don't even have a because. Just absolutely. All that you said is true. And y'all brothers, if you're sitting there and you're saying, brothers, I've tried this. We have a system. So I don't want you to think that I'm this guy and Leroy is this guy, that we've done some work. And I put the work that I've done in a framework that will help you get the exact same results that I got, that I'm getting, that Leroy's getting. Right? I put it in a framework. What's up? There it is. It's in the framework.
That's the frame. It's the framework, y'all.
It's the framework.
This is the framework.
Bishop Michael Claiborne, good to see you, man.
Yeah, Bishop.
I owe you a phone call, man. So I want every brother to know that I am on a quest for every single Black man to reach his full potential. I was on the phone earlier today with a company that we are hiring to do some things. And I mean, it was just Dwight said, that's the manna. Yeah, Dwight's diving into that book. Yeah, I love to see him embrace it and yeah. Just really powerful to see men transform, right? There are three types of men that we deal with. And if you find yourself in any one of these, we are your answer. You've prayed, we are your answer to prayer. Donald, that's arrogant. You call it whatever you want to call it. I have seen over and over again the lives of Black men transform based on this framework that I don't even take credit for. God did it. It's cool, bro. We will talk. It's always good to hear you and Doc sharing tips on helping the Black man. Thank you, bro. Yeah, you wanna come on and cuss with us? Bishop Claiborne, you want to come on and cuss? He don't cuss either. Y'all, both of y'all will be happy that I don't cuss very rarely now. Very rarely. There are three types of brothers that we deal with. And if you find yourself in any of these, Claiborne said, no. If you find yourself in any one of these three things, I promise you we can help you. What's up, cousin? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Let me put it up. I'll put it up right now, Tina. There it is right there. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you go to www.theremandbook.com, that's www.theremandbook.com. You can find it there. It's an exciting time. Leroy, here's what we know, bro. There are three men that we deal with. Tell me if you agree. Three men that we deal with. We deal with men who have hit a ceiling lower than their full potential. Like they just can't get past this iron ceiling. Love you more. Wifey loves you too. She on here somewhere. So men that know that there's more, but just can't seemingly get past that iron ceiling. Number two, we deal with men who have experienced some level of success, but continue to reach these obstacles, hit these obstacles that derail the success. You get to certain points in your life, you're like, here come a challenge, here come an obstacle, and I slide back down. I got to start all over again, right? And then we deal with men that have had, just wild success, only to lose it all because they don't have that.
It's a couple of folks that I can think of right about now that going through that, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
And so the Remand book.
You need, and the Remand book is just an appetizer, y'all.
Correct. Yep,
right?
absolutely.
It's an appetizer. You got to be around some men that are dealing with, and I think that's the genius, Leroy, of the Remand community, the Mecca for Black male mastery, right? Is that the men inside the community are after the same thing. Like we all after it. We all, many of us are business owners. Many of us are married. Many of us got children. I think Leroy has the most kids in the community, but Leroy's never been married. You figure it out. Leroy's never been married, but Leroy has the most kids.
Bro, I told you, I'm tired of you putting my business out the street, man.
Leroy has laid down with many. but I mean,
Why you trying to put me in the same boat with Future and Sean Kemp, bro, and Nick Cannon, man? I'm just saying.
yeah, absolutely. So if you are that man, I want you to DM me. I want you to DM Leroy. I want you to DM us and say, hey, I know there's another level. I just can't seemingly get past this one thing that continues to show up and show up. What you don't know is you're caught in a cycle. I specialize in breaking cycles. I specialize in that. I did it for me. I've done it for others. I can do it for you. All you got to do is show up and say, Donald, I need some help. That's the hard work. The hard work is you showing up and saying, I need some help. Go ahead, man. You got the
No,
last one.
and I love what you just said, man. That you specialize in that. You know how you can go to your regular doctor,
Yes.
and your regular doctor says, "Hey, you need a specialist
Yes.
to do this."
Yes.
He's sending you or she's sending you to someone that does that and that only.
Absolutely. Woo, Leroy.
That's
Don't do it, but that I just, bruh, go ahead, man. I can't interrupt you.
no, that is what Donald is telling you. He is that specialist that they are sending you, that we want to send you to, that we're sending you to. Because this is what he talks about. This is what he does. This is what he studied. This is what he has mastered. And that's what when you go to a specialist, a doctor that's a specialist, that's what they do. When I had to have my eye surgeries, when I had to have my not the pupil, but the what is it? Oh, I don't forgot what that piece is called. Anyway, but it's on your eyes. It's on not your pupil, but where you get the cataracts.
Okay.
But I had to have surgery on both my eyes. They had to give me new ones.
Okay.
And my regular doctor couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That wasn't something he could do.
Yeah.
They had to send me to a doctor. He was phenomenal.
Wow.
And that's all he did.
Wow.
Those are the surgeries that he does because he knows that backwards and forwards, front and back, it is what he has studied.
Bruh.
I can see today because of him. Literally, I can see because of him today. Because of the specialist that he was. And what he did on a regular. Those are the only patients he sees.
God,
he ain't see. He's not seeing any other kind of patients.
Leroy.
You don't.
Leroy, bruh. Oh my God. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. Tomorrow, I know we ain't supposed to have a podcast tomorrow, but we gotta go. But I gotta revisit this because I can't tell you, bro, the life that you just spoke into me.
Absolutely, man.
I didn't run out of a joke. Marla, I watched Marla worship yesterday, bro. We were both watching online. We watched service together by FaceTime, right? So
which one did you which service?
I watched my dad's service, Faith City.
Oh,
Center,
okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I watched my wife just lift her hand, cry and worship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said, babe, it's so pretty watching you worship.
That's beautiful.
It's
that's
so
beautiful,
pretty watching you worship. And today, she said, boy, if I was actually in service, I would have took off running. Like she said, do y'all do that? I was like, she thinks she the only one saved, man. Do y'all do that? Because if y'all don't do that, you ain't been down in Jesus' name, then I don't know what you
said. you ain't really Christian. You ain't really holy.
You ain't really saved. But what you just said, man, believe it or not, that last statement That's the only patience I see. And
That's it.
let me tell you why that became so important. Yeah, Tina, that's their calling. It was predestined in their mother's wombs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Leroy, what you don't know, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. If you're available tomorrow to do the podcast, we'll do it at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kind of spend some time.
10 o'clock, y'all, not 1 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, not 1 o'clock. Over the last year, I have, and this is me having a transparent moment with all of y'all that we'll unpack tomorrow. Leroy just unlocked it though. And my wife will tell you, I've been having these micro moments with God about this very issue. I didn't know whether or not my particular calling, that my cousin Tina calls it, was enough. Watch this, man. So I was always trying to find, Leroy, the other thing that I could add. Like, do I need to add business coaching to it? Do I need to add, do I need to add fitness coach? I've got all the surrounding coaches, but I'm talking about for me, I always felt like, man, something else. Like it was the imposter syndrome trying to tell me that what I did wasn't.
Bro, you know that this weekend, Saturday to be specific, or last week, was the first time that I ever heard that
syndrome?
Yeah, syndrome.
Okay.
Because the group that I'm a part of on Saturdays, called the E-Mixer, the guy that the host of the room, that was his topic, imposter syndrome.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't know what it was, didn't hit. Wow. And as he started talking about, you just said exactly what it is. Yeah. I didn't think that what I was doing on the inside was good enough with what I'm doing on the outside.
Right. For everything that a man needs, right? I'm thinking, okay, all I do is the inner work. And what has been happening is God has been, mentors of mine have been just dropped, like not to me, just like online. Darnell Jervey Harmon, who is a mentor of mine, said, when you're ready to go to 7 figures, you got to have systems, this in place, but none of this works if you don't deal with the inner man first.
Yep.
Right. So God has been talking to me, and I've shared it with my wife. I've said, babe, I've just always looked for another thing that I can do to make what I do valuable. And God said to me, Darnell said it, April Franks has said it, Bucci has said it. Bro, what you do is absolutely necessary. There's nothing else that I need from you. I don't need. I just need you to help me interrupt this pattern, this cycle that I'm in. And when you said a moment ago, when you said you don't take no other patience than that thing unlocked in me. So tomorrow, y'all, I want to give y'all some homework. Tomorrow, I want to know what's that thing for you. And I'm gonna walk you through what Leroy just said to me. It was a divine moment in ways that you don't know. I don't help businesses. I help businessmen so that they can help their businesses. Now we have business coaches, like Leroy is a business coach. Right? So we have business coaches. We have people in the community that do just that. I don't do what Leroy does. And but
that's the beauty of specialists. Yeah, that's the beauty of specialists.
The beauty of a specialist. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, my doctor, my general physician, right? He's the one that says, hey, your numbers are off. I need to send you to a urologist.
Yep.
My urologist is the specialty guy.
Yep.
And here's what's I had some challenges, and I went back to my general doctor, and my general doctor said you need to go back to your specialist. They said out of all that we know, we don't know that specifically. So brothers, listen to me. If you're caught in a cycle, and you can't get out, you trapped, and you don't know how you continue to find yourself. I was caught in it. I could not stop cheating. I learned how to break the cycle, and I want to show you. Whatever cycle you in, doesn't matter. Life, leadership, and legacy, doesn't matter what cycle you're in. I'm gonna help you break it. Leroy, thank you, boy. That was so good. So tomorrow, 10 o'clock, y'all, we'll be back on. We're going to unpack this. I want you to begin to do some thinking about, what do you specialize at? What do you do? I help Black businessmen break the vicious cycles of missed potential so that they can master life, leadership, and legacy. Until next time's tomorrow. We will not be on Wednesday, just tomorrow. I just sense in my spirit. Leroy, Lala, is that a tongue? look, Lala, you so ignorant. You coming on yesterday? Leroy, that girl said, "Babe, I think I'm gonna throw my food away. I'm done with it." I said, "Why don't you save it for yesterday?" She's like, "What?" She ain't never gonna let me live that down, bro. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. We're gonna unpack this a little more. It's such an important revelation and conversation Leroy just unpacked that we just don't have time to deal with today. We'll deal with it tomorrow. Until then, be gone.
Be gone.
Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton. Dr. Donald Morton is an award-winning social entrepreneur known for his innovative social solutions.
Based on this fatherhood and manhood issue in droves, in incredibly large numbers. And I felt it necessary for someone to have a voice like yourself to do the work of restoring men in our society. And I've been doing that work ever since.
His latest solution is expressed as the CEO of Remand.
So Remand, the nonprofit, is about helping brothers that are coming out of prison, brothers that are dealing with child support, brothers that are the most marginalized of our communities, helping them with their character and the institutions that impact them. And then the LLC, our for-profit arm, is really attempting to address the CEOs and CFOs and entrepreneurs and people like that say, look, I got issues too as a Black man. My issues are a bit different because I'm in the C-suite. And how it plays out in the C-suite is very different than how it plays out on the block and those brothers that are coming out of re-entry. But here's the deal. All of us the same, for real, for real.
Dr. Morton is the former executive director of the Complexities of Color Coalition. As executive director of the coalition, he worked to congregate Wilmington, Delaware's African American community in order to create comprehensive strategy to influence institutions, policies, and laws. Dr. Morton has over 25 years of experience in African American community leadership. Remand is deeply personal. While he's glad that thousands of men are on this journey with him, it was started because he needed liberation. He was broken and bound, and he was fighting to put his life back together after divorce, infidelity, business challenges, bankruptcy, and a life destroyed by being the worst liar ever. Yes, Dr. Morton was a liar until he faced himself and proved his signature science, the character arc. Then and only then was he ready to lead men to learn and live the science of being remanned.